Thanks for tuning in. My name is Lauren, and this is Orderly Conduct. As a busy mother of two, I quickly realized how important it is to maintain structure and organization in the home. Otherwise, your life is just crazy. So I created these 5 tips on how to stay organized, get organized, and maintain organization all 2020 and through quarantine, especially during this time. This is a crazy time. All the kids are at home. All the parents are losing their minds. Let me help you with 5 tips on how to make sure your home stays structured all 2020. All right, so let's hop into it. The first tip, clear your mind, clear your mental space. So what that means is whatever that means for you, organizing when the kids are asleep, or maybe visiting a grandparent, or when they're outside, or somewhere where you can just have a peace of mind. You don't want to stress out while you do this, just because organizing can take up some mental space. And if you're stressed and you're anxious, then it tends to not get finished or not get completed. So we want to make sure we get this done and continue to make sure we maintain an organized space. The next tip, start getting rid of things. It's impossible to achieve an organized space without purging it first. So that means getting rid of anything that is not useful for you or your family, that's just in the way, and that continues to pile up. Also, make sure that while you're bringing things in and you're adding to your space, you're not collecting things such as extra packaging, extra bags, anything that would be in the way of that space that might pile up and be a huge mess later. So we want to make sure that we are purging our space of anything that is unnecessary and unneeded. The next step would be to sort. Start sorting the things that that you need and that you don't need. This will help with the disposal process. The things that you don't need, you have an option to dispose of completely or to donate. And the things that you need, you need to create a space for. That brings me to my next step. Create a space for everything. Everything must have a home. That's the secret. Making sure everything has a home helps to ensure cleaning up and putting things back is consistent. When you don't have a place for your things, they tend to end up all over the house. And then the next thing you know, you're back in a disorganized space. So you want to make sure that you have a space or a home for everything. I'm reading off notes, so that's why I'm looking down. Bear with me. The 4th step is organize for convenience. You want to make sure that where you're creating that place for that item is a convenient spot for the usage of that item, if that makes any sense. So you want to make sure that you're putting things in a place where it's convenient to access it and convenient to put it away. If you're putting something way off or way in another side of the house, or, oh, this looks cute here, I'm gonna put it here, and then when you go to use it, it's not gonna be so convenient to put it away. And then it's gonna end up around the house and piling up. So you wanna make sure that you organize for convenience. That helps to make sure your house stays tidy. Another part about organizing and having a space for everything, it helps when you're having your kids help to clean up their rooms or to clean up a living room. If you want to just kind of add your kids in and just kind of give them a task and say, hey, help mommy clean up this room, or help daddy clean up your bedrooms, it's easier when things have a home. Step number 5, this is probably the least important, depending on who you are. Everybody's different, but I would say invest in your space. Not everybody needs to do this thing, but if you're talking about like a pantry or cabinets or bathroom cabinets, you want to make sure that you invest in containers or space organizers that are going to help you maintain a clean and organized and tidy space. For me, I love organizing kitchens. I love doing kitchen cabinets. I love doing pantries. It's just my thing because I am in love with the way they look when it's all the cereals in one place and they're labeled nicely and all the flour and the sugar is there and it's labeled nicely. I'm just in love with that. I love it. It just brings me like a joy to take things out of the packaging and to, create a home for it and make it look nice and tidy. So I would say invest in your space. That would help you kind of visually want to keep that space tidy and organized and keep anything else out of that space that doesn't belong. So it's kind of a motivator to keep it that way when you have a place for it. Sometimes those containers or those space savers are actually creating a home for the things that didn't have a home before. So it is important that if you need to invest in your space, invest in your space. So that's the end of my 5 tips for 2020, staying organized during quarantine and during COVID-19. We are going back into quarantine now. As I'm filming this video, things started opening up and numbers started going up, and now states are shutting things back down. And so we're finding ourselves back at home. A lot of the schools are not going to have the students go back into school. So a lot of parents are looking into remote learning alternatives for their kids in the next 2020-2021 school year. So staying organized is something that I think is priority this year, to keep you from pulling your hair out and going crazy with these kids, okay? Because I know sometimes with my two, it gets real wild. And I know that just having an organized and structured space contributes to my sanity. So if you like these tips, give this video a thumbs up. Comment, subscribe to this channel for more tips and for more advice on how to make sure that you keep a tidy home all 2020. Thanks for tuning in.